Alright, so the sitting trot here on Mr. Dillon, a lot of people have trouble with that sitting trot. You want to make sure, again, that you're going with your horse all the time. Always feel down to your horse so your horse can feel back up to you. It's a constant communication. Don't block him out. And you got to understand, when he's trotting, he's moving diagonally. So if you're not moving diagonally, meaning your hips aren't moving separate, then every time, if you move your hips together and he's moving this way, you're going to be bumping into him every stride on one side or the other. And eventually you're just going to start bouncing and doing all sorts of stuff. You want to have good posture, but not be really stiff. If you're really stiff, you're going to start bouncing. If you're really sloppy, you're not going to have any feel. So when you want to, just as if you're walking, and you can practice this at a walk to start, feel how your hips are moving from him. You don't want to sit up here and do this to your horse. It's really annoying to him. Your hips just move with his. Goes forward. If you look down at his legs, the right, left, my right hip, my left hip, his right leg, his left leg. They just kind of go independent. If I sit here, and you'll see a lot of people, I say don't hump your horse. You see a lot of people doing this. That, well, hurts after a while. But you want to not do that. You run into them every time and you have no feel. You can't turn and do stuff with that feeling. And when you pick it up to a trot, eventually, it's the same thing. You sit up and you just allow these lower 6 inches of your back to release to him. He'll move you, but you've got to be active with the movement at the same time. If I sit up too straight, I start bouncing. If I flop down, well, he stops because he listens to my seat. If I just flop here, like I'll tell people to relax, and then you have just nothing going on there. And you can see he's like, oh my gosh, what the heck are you doing? So again, at the trot, you should be pretty steady. Again, my little ponytail isn't going anywhere. If you're riding in a little pony, well, it's a button actually, but if you're riding in something like that and you see somebody's ponytail flopping all over the place, that's not good. You're going to hurt your horse. Your horse isn't going to want to trot for you. So you got to allow this to all move. You stay up in the sternum, stay centered on your horse, and just go. If you need help, you can kind of grab a hold of the Cheyenne roll if you have a Western saddle, or grab underneath your English saddle and pull yourself back a little bit. That will force you, and just relax. Now my ponytail is going to bounce more because of the position I'm in, but when you do this, it forces your hips to open up and be able to move. Okay, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. If all of a sudden I tighten and I move both hips together, then you get this thing. Pretty soon you'll start bucking on me if I do that too long. So you just nice and easy, relax, but stay in form. And that's a hard thing for people to understand. You got to relax and stay in form. And just let it go. Let him go with you. Let you go with him. It's very easy but very hard for people to do. I don't hold on with my feet. You see my feet kind of flapping underneath there. My armitas are kind of flapping. I'm not holding on with my legs. I'm just balanced up here. Mr. Pickle here wants to go to the middle. So if I tighten up my legs, if I tighten my legs, he has nowhere to go. He's not gonna go. You'll see that. You'll see this type of thing. All I'm doing is hitting my brakes. My legs are relaxed. Everything up here is relaxed. Everything is just going. Nice and easy. And again, your legs need to be free to steer. Left leg back, right leg forward to make your turn. If you're bracing against your stirrups, you can't possibly use your legs to make a turn. can't possibly use your hips to make a turn if you're braced against anything. Then you always see that lovely thing where the horse keeps going faster and faster. That's because somebody's like holding on with their heels. Sorry, Pickle. They're holding on with their heels, trying to balance. No, you hold on with your heels, you squeeze, he goes faster. Some of them will comply, some of them will get scared because they think you're holding on for dear life because something's chasing you. So sit back, relax, but sit up. Your sternum needs to be up. You need to be centered on your horse. You need to be looking where you're going. And this lower part of your back needs to relax, needs to move. If it's not moving, you're not going to get very far. Your chest doesn't bounce up and down. No chicken wings either. Okay, you get these chicken wings going. You can probably hear that on my microphone. Then you see all that static that comes in your reins when you get this. And then I tighten up my body, and life goes in, and then I push against my stirrups at the same time. And then pretty soon you're trying to get your horse to go. And you're going, my horse won't trot. Why won't my horse trot? Well, let go. Let him go. Get out of his way. Stay there with him, but get out of his way. Don't do all this other stuff that you don't need to do. Be quiet. So much static goes on all the time when you're riding. Don't. Focus on where you want to go. Focus on what you want to do. And just allow it to happen there. Okay? And then another thing, you want to keep your hands out in front of you. You'll see a lot of people trotting, and they're trying to trot like this. First of all, that throws you a little forward. You have a break in your body here. This has no connection. I mean, he's kind of trying to figure out what the heck I want. Do I want him to back up? What do I want him to do? You want to stay up, proper, in alignment. You want to have railroad tracks, like I say, one on each side of your horse all the time. Keep it simple, basically. Just go forward and keep it there. If all of a sudden I bring my hands back here and I get this, I tighten my shoulders, I start bouncing. People aren't going to let their legs go like that if they're riding like this, so I'll tighten my legs there a little bit. Then you get this and you're going, whoa, Nelly. And then you have nothing here. In order for me to back up, I have to do one of these things. Doesn't work. And you'll never get in balance with your horse that way. You've got to stay in the center. Release your lower back. Don't squeeze. Don't tighten. Just balance. And keep him in the middle. And get your body going where you want his going. Your hips move independently all the time. They have to move. Every time I try and tighten up, as soon as I start talking about tightening up, he gets lost. So ride with a feel. Don't ride with craziness or down here. This doesn't get you anywhere either, because all of a sudden you're stiff. To do this, your shoulders go forward, you have to be stiff. That doesn't work. You need to sit up. You put your body in the position you want your horse's body to be. You want him straight through here. You want him soft and round. You've got to be soft and round and straight all at the same time. And yes, it is possible. Nice and quiet. That way, any movement that you make, he can follow it pretty darn well. You ride with a feel. You don't ride with breakage. If you take a straw and you bend it really hard and you try and drink out of it, it's not going to work. Same thing here. If I bend my straws, all of a sudden, it's not very pretty. You can't bend your straws and expect to get anything flowing through there. And I see this all the time. I don't know if people are trying to check and see if they, shaved or what under their armpits, but you got, I'm not sure what's going on there. But keep it out in front of you. Keep it nice. Even if you drop the reins and ride on the buckle, it's still out in front of you. Everything should be nice and smooth, so that again, when my body turns, He feels every little motion of it. You can't do that if you're stiff anywhere. You can't do that if you're tight anywhere. You can't do that if you're really flopping anywhere. You've got to stay in form, but be relaxed, and never forget to breathe. Keep everything nice and easy. There's times where he's going to fall into little holes and you're going to go with him and stuff like that. You can't go with him if you haven't been with him in the first place. You've got to be with your horse. Feel down to him. He'll feel up to you, and you'll get reactions out of him, or not reactions, but responses out of him so much faster if you can just go right here with your horse all the time. You stop, he stops, life is good. And you've got to stay here. You've got to stay relaxed. This doesn't work. That's sitting on a couch, I don't know, and doing your exercises. This is almost a braking position. Relax. Your feet should be able to move. My Armida things right here, you can see they're just kind of flopping. I take them off. These need to be just loose and relaxed. This should all be able to move. You balance off of here. You stay in the center all the time. You're not going to go anywhere. You go somewhere when you tighten. It scares your horse, it scares you, it throws them off balance. Stay relaxed. Stay with your horse. Stay in tune. Stay in feel. Operate off of a feel with your horse, and life goes so much better. So again, when you want to sit that trot, individual hips, relaxed, lower 6 inches of your back. Try and keep yourself upright, not stiff, but just allowing him to move you, but you're still steering. You're directing, but his body moves your body. And then when you steer, he'll follow you. And it works so well. You've just got to ride off of a feel. Don't break any straws. Don't bend too far. Keep everything focused. Know where you're going. And you should have a pretty good ride. Thank you.